Okay, I think I'm on live. Sorry, I am a couple minutes late. I was weeding in the garden. Let me just hook this up as people are joining. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. Make sure that I am, here we go, in the right place. All right, so I have all my stuff right here. I didn't really even organize it on my tabletop. So I'll do that as I'm chatting, as we're getting people to join. Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm really excited to show you what we're making today. Oh, this is even crooked. That won't be on me that long. Some really cool cards. So let me just sort through those. If you are joining live, be sure to comment and say I'm here. Say, a little something about yourself, where you're from. Sure, I have everything. Okay, sorry, a little discombobulated. If this is your first time joining, tell me that. If this is a project that you think you're going to share, be sure to share it with friends. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining. Hope you're feeling well. All right. Just about to have everything sorted. Let me get my basket out of the way. I actually prepared this yesterday and brought everything up here, so hopefully I did a good job. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining. Awesome. I love it when we have people on live. It makes me a little bit better. Hi, Debbie. Oh, great. Hi, Debbie. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Tracy. I am one of the lucky thousands, millions who tested positive for COVID the other day. My daughter brought it home from college unknowingly, so she had it last week. She's just about done, and I tested positive the other day, but I'm fine, as you can see. Today I woke up with blocked ears. I don't know if anyone's had that, but both my ears were like really, really blocked and just a sore throat. And a little tired today. Yesterday I actually did some gardening, but that may have done me in, but I'm fine. We're very lucky that we're fine, and hopefully if you guys get it, you will be also. All right, so I think we are good. So let me, what am I gonna do? I'm just trying to think where I want to put stuff. All right, I'm just gonna put the paper cutter behind me. All right. Yep, Tracy, I know you were worse than me. Okay, excellent. But with crafting, we can all do some crafting even when we're not feeling great. All right, I'm going to flip the camera down, and so you can, whoop, there's my water for when I need to take a sip. Oh, sorry, this is crazy. It's not spinning. There we go. Just give me a second to make sure that this is where I want it. All right, we need to be further down so you can see what I'm doing. Need to get the camera straight. My tripod's a little stiff. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right, so let me put those aside somewhere for a second. Put those there. That there. All right, let me actually, so you can see what we're looking at. I did post a photo, but these are the cards. I'm gonna make two of them. We're gonna make these two, hopefully. And I'll show you my inspiration piece. It was a card sent to me by a very talented stamper. All right. And hold on, I blocked my comments on the screen, so now I can't see. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So these are, so I'm sure you've seen, could have been like a year, 2, 3 even ago, like, I don't know if they're as popular now, but these alcohol papers, which had this like look to it, were really popular. And Stampin' Up! Came out with a paper pack last year. I think it was called Artistic Expressions or something like that, that had it in there, but they didn't have, you need alcohol inks to make them, kind of like our re-inkers, but I think they are, I don't know, I've never used them, but they make this cool thing. So let me put these aside. So Ellen made and sent me this card last year. So you can see they're last year's in colors. And I just fell in love with it. And she is so awesome because, look, she sends me directions on when she makes things. So I figured it out. And over the winter, I made a snowflake card, and I used it as the background with a snowflake on top of it. I only used a little image. But I like using the whole big thing. So this is what I was playing with. So this was the first one I made. So these are last year's in colors that are still current. And these are this year's in colors. And so then I thought, you know, it's awfully very bold and bright, which is nice, but sometimes you don't want a bold and bright card. So I made these two with more of an ombre, like a one color look. And so, and I think those kind of came out cool too. So you can use them for lots of things, but I just love that washed out kind of look. So I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so let me just make sure I have all the correct pieces. We're going to start with this one. And I already kind of, let's see, I did some pre-stamping. We'll see, I might make more. And let's go with this one. Okay. All right, so what you need are blends markers. So these are alcohol-based markers. So you definitely need these. I don't think it will work with like the Stampin' Rights. So you need alcohol-based markers, and you can choose, and sometimes it's a little experimentation of what colors work with what colors and so forth, because sometimes they can get muddy or sometimes they work together. So I'm using the dark of the 5 new in colors. That's how I made this one nice and bright. So this one, I think, no, I think I did that one the bright. I ripped it. So I didn't use, I'll use it for something else. The lighter ones obviously were lighter. And I have some of my fails here that I'll show you. These are obviously not as dark. And they're curled. So as I go through the process, I'll tell you what happened. As you can kind of see, I had taped them down just in the corners, but they still moved away from the tape, and then they curled. And as that happens, you can really see it on this one. Actually, what happened is it bows this way while it's wet, and so all the ink moved to the edges, and so you get these lines, which, depending on what you're doing, may be okay, but I wanted something more like that. So I'm going to show you how you do that. Okay. Even with this one, I tried taping 2 sides, but this still it just even pulled away, and so then I got a little bit of the pooling. Some of these I did the lighter markers. Just trying to see. Yeah, you can kind of see that that's lighter than this one. Again, that might be the look you're going for. So there's definitely some experimentation with this. All right, so I just used old cardboard. This is the backing. Sometimes you get with the designer series papers or the specialty papers, you get these. So I save them and use them for a lot of things. And I cut my vellum. I discovered I cut it like a quarter sheet, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to trim it down after done with it. Because I'm taping it all the way down, we're just going to cut off those taped edges. And I am trying to reuse my tape so I don't have to use tape each time. We'll see. It worked once before. We'll see if it works again. I don't know if it's going to. I was able to lift it up. Okay, that works. I think I didn't put it in the right space on that one. So I'll use new tape on those ones. I'm going to do 2 at once. All right. Well, I'm just gonna use new tape because it'll be easier. So I did do 2 here because I was able to kind of save a little bit on my tape. This is just painter's tape. You can use masking tape too. But I do find, now you could play with it also, which I didn't do. I know I've done this before. Like if you could do it without taping it down and use the heat gun and hold it down and heat gun it, and then it might work. But again, you're gonna make several of these until you figure it out and you like it. That's all. It's all part of the creativity. And then save your pieces, because maybe on some of the pieces you just want a smaller piece. All right, so I am taped down here. I'm going, oh, shoot. Excuse me. Okay, darn it. Okay, that's all right. I was going to make a purple one like this, and then a bright one, but I forgot to bring up my purple markers. So maybe we'll see what happens. All right. So I told you on, it could have been last week's Facebook Live or maybe 2 weeks ago, I marked my pens with a little tape here, and just because I like this point, and so I don't have to keep always looking at my pen. So you just gonna randomly color. I like this one. Okay. And then you can figure out as much or as little color you want on there of each color. So it doesn't matter as much for the darker colors. Well, I'll show you. If you go over a little bit, these will bleed, whereas normally they won't bleed, but on the vellum, they will bleed a little bit. So just get close. You don't have to get exactly everywhere. And it's kind of okay if you bleed on this one. Just wash it, just brush it off. All right, so I'm just trying to think. We'll do this one like I did. I'm just trying to think how to do the purple. I might just use just those colors. Or actually, you know what? I'll do these colors. And I'll put the red on top of it. Maybe that will make some more purple. But you can see I'm not really coloring so beautifully on purpose. And then like this one. Again, you can do big pockets of color if you don't want all 5 colors. You can do 3 colors, but you do need some colors that are not all the same. And you'll see why in a second. All right, well, let's see what happens with that. All right, just make sure there's no other comments. Oh, great. Hi, Susan. Yep, I'm feeling good. Feeling good. I have to keep clearing my throat every once in a while, but that's okay. All right, so we are going to use rubbing alcohol. It is very important to use 91%. There's another grade, I think it's 70%. That doesn't work. I don't know why, it just doesn't work. So you need 91% rubbing alcohol. I put some just in this container, and you can see it has a little color to it because I reused it, and that's, for me, that's fine. And you can use a paintbrush, or you can even try a dropper. I found with the dropper, it gets wetter, which is okay, just takes longer to dry, and there's a little bit more blending of colors. It's not as much of color contrast, but I'll show you both. And then you can, after we do this, you can just let it sit and dry, and it might take about like 15 minutes, or you can use a heat gun to speed it up, and that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So I'm just taking my paintbrush and I'm dabbing, and you can kind of see it moving and merging. So I'm kind of dabbing where the colors meet each other because I do want them to kind of blend together. And you don't have to saturate the whole thing. It's actually it has a cool look when it's not all wet. You'll get more of a like a definitive line of color. But do you see how it's all kind of merging together? These ones, I think the other ones I did bigger blocks of color. This is kind of messy, but we'll see what happens. And we're putting things on top of it anyways. And oh, I was going to do the dropper. And like I said, you can do the dropper or the paintbrush. The paintbrush you can kind of, well, I guess you can dab a little bit. You could spend hours doing this to get different looks. All right, I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, these are kind of, aren't they funky? And I love, like, you're gonna, because I left some of it dry, and I think this is important, I didn't saturate the whole thing, because then it could just kind of wash out. But where I left it dry, you're gonna have all these, more of these darker lines, and I like those. All right, so I'm gonna use the heat tool. I'm first going to put it on low, just because I don't want the liquid to go everywhere, and then I'll do high, and it will dry real quick. I'm doing it up high, see how that moved? I don't want to move it too much. And again, that's all personal look of how you want it to look. And hopefully you can kind of see it drying. Maybe even just stay on the low speed. See it all kind of moving, almost like embossing when you see that color melting. I like that really dark line, so I don't want that to go away. Okay, so I actually meant to do it on low speed, so that's good. That's still drying. Again, I wanted to kind of keep some of that dark line. All right, isn't that cool? So it's gonna look even better when we put it on a white background. All right, so that's my sample. I already scored and cut my card base. Hi, Polly. Yes, I agree with you. The darker lines are really cool. And again, I said it before, you have to kind of play with this a little bit to figure it out. You know, not everyone will be perfect, but sometimes, and this is with a lot of stamping, like, don't make your judgment during the process. Wait till you do all the steps, because sometimes just that final step is what makes it work. All right, so this is still a little wet. All right, I'm just gonna hit this with the heat gun a little bit because it's still wet. There we go. All right, now we have to decide which one to use. So they're all gonna be different. Even if you color exactly the same and you put the alcohol down, it just kind of does its own thing. So we'll start with this one. I'm gonna trim it because remember I did a bigger piece, so it was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm gonna just trim it a little bit and give it a crisper edge. Let's see, so this is gonna be 4. I'm glad you like it, Cindy. I think it's really, really cool. And you guys know I love bright colors, so this definitely lends itself. And I'll show you again that other one that wasn't as bright. So the purple one I was gonna do for you, but I didn't bring up the the colors. I think I used 5 different purples, but I did the same process. And so, here, let me get it. For both of these, I think I did 5 different greens and 5 different purples. And you just want to make sure, because some of the greens were all I did pear pizzazz, old olive, soft seafoam, which was too light. You couldn't even see it. And then I put a little bit of soft succulent and a mossy meadow because I needed something a little bit darker just to make the contrast. And same with these ones. I did purple posy, no, that's fresh freesia, Highland heather. I think purple posy I have, it was too light. I might have done raspberry. And again, you have the light and the dark markers, but then I added a little bit of the starry sky in there to give that little contrast. So just kind of play with your colors. All right, so we have that. So once you put this on the white, it really kind of, it pops. So let me just show you, because I brought it up. So this to me was kind of an artsy card. So I brought up the limited edition stamp set, which is a fun one to use on the back of your cards, like when you want to sign your cards to let people know they're handmade, but you can use these images on the front as well. And I'll just say too, if you ever want to sell your cards and you're using Stampin' Up! Products, you need to use like this little copyright Stampin' Up! Sign on the back of your cards. And so that's called the Angel Policy. And so that's what this stamp set is good for. But we're going to use it a little differently. All right, so I have, I'm going to use one of a kind. And all right, so I'm going to use these two. So this one of a kind has that copyright Stampin' Up! On there, but I don't want you to see it. So I could do two things. I could cut it with scissors. I could cut it right off, or I'm going to show you what I did. And then we're only going to use the Just For You. Oh, I want to make sure my screen just went down. Hopefully I'm still on. Good, okay. My computer screen just went black, and that's never happened before. All right, so for these colors, I'm going to use Stampin' Right markers. So blends won't work for coloring the stamp because it just dries. It's alcohol based, which is what we liked for the background color, but we don't like that for drying out. So for this technique, you could use like Crayola markers. You can use a lot of different markers, but you can't use Sharpies or anything that's alcohol based because it will just dry on your stamp and it won't do anything. All right, so we are going to color. I'm just trying to decide what colors I want. We're going to color directly on our stamp. So these are the Stampin' Right markers. And I'm going to color right on here. And so this is a really cool, I mean, I guess you'd call it a technique or a coloring way of getting multi-colors without having multiple stamp pads, or you want multiple colors on one stamp. So there's a little A right here. And then I'm going to use the Parakeet Party for these little swirly things. One more on this side. And then it says creation. I'm going to try to ignore that Stampin' Up! Because I don't want that colored. But I'll show you, if you do get ink on it, it's okay. We can cover it up. All right, so now that's all colored. And so it took me a few minutes to do it, so some of the ink may have dried. So I'm going to, we call it like huff or blow on the stamp with my breath, just to re-moisten it. And then you're going to stamp down and you get that. So it doesn't have the Stampin' Up! On there and it has multicolors. So I'm going to do the same thing for Just For You. Because I don't, for this particular card, I don't want the hand or the flower. I just want the words. I'll do Just For You. So let me put the cover back on. Okay. And so then I'm just going to use the ones I already cut out, but I'll show you, hopefully. Here we go. These are new dies in the new catalog, and I love them. So we all loved the old stitched shapes dies. So this is kind of similar, but slightly different, called Stylish Shapes. And so this has, I think what's that? I think I use this one. It does markings on both the part that you cut out, and then it leaves behind the markings too. So Oh, I don't have any, but sometimes you the inverse of it. And then the Just For You, I use this little one, and I cut that one out. But I think, just because my throat's a little sore, make this a little shorter, I'm just going to use the ones I already cut out. I have a couple options here. So this one I made, and I got a little ink on that Stampin' Up, but that's okay because we're just going to cover it up anyways. So even if you did get Stampin' Up on there, sorry, Stampin' Up, we're covering you up. We don't want you on the front of this card. And so, oh, actually I do have to cut out something. I did this circle. So when I was playing with it, I put the circle down, and I liked how you could see the vellum on the outside. So then I thought, oh, we'll just put a border on that side. So I did it with the glimmer paper. So they have glimmer paper for each of the new ink colors too. And you see that they're like ombre, which is kind of cool. And they're thick, but they cut really nicely in the machine. So how I did that, I'll show you, because I didn't pre-cut that one. Now we have to decide on a color. All right. So if I'm going to use, we'll do a different color than I did. If I'm going to use, say, that one. Or do we want, see, I can't make decisions live because it takes me a long time. What color do we want? Maybe we'll do the darker one. We'll do the darker one. All right. So I brought my machine up. Just have to make some space. Okay. Oh, thank you, Susan. Darker. Excellent. Just need a little reaffirmation. Affirmation. All right. So the 6x6 fits beautifully right in the standard machine. So I'm just going to put one die down. Put the other one down and arrange them so I can see that it's a fairly even border, and I want to make sure you can see that on the screen. Yes, you can. Okay, good. Now, if you were a little nervous about things moving around, you could take washi tape and tape it down. I think I'll be all right. So you move those, you get your ring, and then you have this. So save this for another project, for a little tag, or even if you could almost punch flowers out, but save it. It's not trash. And then I still have all that left. And that's how I kind of do a frame. I've done that a lot actually, that's how I did it on this one too. But I use the stitch rectangles, and I just use different frames. But that's how I do the frames. Alrighty, let's put this card together. Oh yeah, good choice. The darker one looks good. Okay. So vellum sometimes just stick down. Sometimes you can see the glue behind it if you're using just a clear piece of vellum. This one, you have a little leeway because you don't really see it because you get some of the swerves of the color. But I'll show you what I do anyways to stick vellum down. I'm actually going to use dimensionals on this one, and I'll show you why in a second. Just want to make sure that I give enough room for this one. Okay. So I stuck that down with dimensionals, and the reason why, so this one I don't know if you can kind of see, it's a little warped because I didn't put glue down everywhere, because when I was trying it, I didn't know if you would see it, but really you don't see the glue. So I could put glue all the way down, but it is a plasticky paper, so it sits a little differently. And so I had glued this whole circle down, but again, it's warped. So to prevent that, I'm just using dimensionals. But what I would normally do with vellum, if it was clear, I would stick my pieces on front, and then behind I would put the glue so it's kind of hidden. There we go. And then if I was going to put a gem or somewhere, then I would put the glue where the gem was. But actually, I'm just going to glue this down because I don't think we're going to see it. All right. Even though it looks pretty. But we're going to add a little bit more glitz. If I have mini dimensionals, I do. I'm going to put mini dimensionals on the back of this for the same reason, so it's not warped. This one, again, I glued all the way down, but let's try the mini dimensionals because they should be the right, perfect size to fit this ring. All right, I'm not checking comments. Good. All right. So then I will, I'm going to trim, do I have scissors? Where'd my scissors go? All right, I'm going to see a little bit of the dimensional, rip it off because I didn't place it in the right direction. Okay, so then that's going to go like that. I really like how you can see the colors around that so closely. I could have done a solid, usually that's what we do, a solid circle behind it, but I really like that ring of color. And then we have our Just For You, and I'll stick that on top. And this can be really like a thank you, a happy birthday, hello, because it's just a one-of-a-kind creation, so it can be for any reason. There we go. So those are the two there. So I was going to do that purple one. Let's see if this will look okay. It might. It might indeed. Okay. So you can, oh, that actually would pull in more of the purple. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. The vellum pulls in that purple that I didn't have. Normally I was going to put the white paper. I was going to trim the paper to the size of the frame. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the base right on that purple. All right. You guys are seeing how my mind works. Your desk looks like mine, says Polly, when I'm in the middle of a project. I know. This is not my normal desk. This is teeny tiny. It's just a little table. I'm fortunate to have a much larger table in my workspace. It's like a dining room table size. And even that gets messy. But it really gets messy when I'm on these videos because I have limited size and I can't move. And I have also all sorts of things in the way. All right. So I'm going to measure. I already pre-cut my frame. Just want to see what size it is. 3 3/4 by, say, 5. So I'm going to cut this 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to trim up that edge and do 3 3/4 by 5. So let's cut. Hopefully that won't get in the way. Good. Okay. All right. So it always looks nice, but let's crisp it up a little bit. Get those messy edges out of the way. So I'm going to carefully find my glue pad. Here we go. I'm going to glue this frame on top of my painted paper. I think what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to put this on here first. Yeah. So we just saw in this one, you can't really see the glue. Although, I wonder if you would because we're putting it on the purple, not the white. So I think what I'm going to do is hide the glue behind the dark colors. All right, so I get dark colors here, well, on the edge because we're going to have the frame there. And I know that I'm going to be putting some butterflies on here too. I'm just trying to hide the glue a little bit. I'm going to do my best to center this, because we're going to put that frame right on top of it. Like I said, what I had done for this one, I trimmed the vellum painted paper the same color, or I trimmed the white and this the same color, same size, and then I put it behind for the frame, because then you get a little bit of the white behind. But because I didn't bring up my purple markers, we're going to use the background purple to make it look like it was purple. All right, I'm going to put this right on top, making sure all my rough edges are covered. All right. And then I already pre-cut the butterflies. So these are from the, I think they're called Brilliant Butterflies, Brilliant Wings dies, I forget. And I'm just going to put them in the same kind of placement that I did. I'm only going to put glue on the backs of like the bodies, because that way we can fold up the wings a little bit. And this glue is strong, so you really don't need too much. All right. I think it looks okay with the darker colors. Although I do like the soft colors on this one. Oop. Sticky. And then I'm just going to add some gems. I forget what these ones are called, but them actually, I think they might be iridescent. They do kind of pick up whatever colors that they're near. I'm going to use the medium and the small size. And I think it just ties it all together. There we go. It just ties it all together. So those are the two butterfly cards, and then you can pull up the wings a little bit. There we go. Pretty, pretty. And so these are the other two. I'm trying not to cough, so I'll just have water. And those are the two. I'll make sure you can see them on the screen. This is the other one that I made. Same process. And then this is the one that was inspired me by. All right, let's see. Yep, you can see them all on the screen. Perfect. All right. So those are, I don't know if it really has, did she write a name? Nope. Vellum Blends Markers Alcohol Paper. I don't know what that's called. But again, it's fun. It's addictive. I think you really like doing it. And so just, like I said, just when I did it, I think on this one I had 6 at once, and I kind of just did them all at once. It makes it a little faster, and it was all in one spot. And so then I'll just use all my other papers for other projects. All right, so let's see what's happening in the Stampin' Up! World. I have a little creativity giveaway going on. So if you hop on over to my VIP page, Mail Something Pretty VIP, I think that's what it's called. There's a link on here. If you post pictures of your projects, I'm going to randomly and totally random pick one. It's not really the best project, not the winner project, but I'm just going to pick one, and I'll give that winner in a free online class, and as well as a commenter, because I'm trying to get people to post pictures and I'm trying to get people to comment on the pictures of projects. I'll give the commenter also a free online online class. And so that's running now until Monday, because Monday is a National Creativity Day. So I have that going on. And then for Stampin' Up, there's still a sign-on promotion going on. So you get a whole bunch of new in-color products. Markers might be one of them. I don't remember actually. It's paper, a couple different papers, ink pads, and grid. It's pretty grid paper, like this background paper I use with these colors, all for free with a $99 starter kit. So that's going on till the end of May, and that might be it. Sorry, I should have wrote notes. Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm not feeling too yucky. It's just my throat's just not kind of great. Thank you, Tracy. MSP VIP. That's my Facebook group page. And there is a link to it on this page. So and anyone who clicks to like it is joined. There's no approval or anything. But I love to see your projects. Everyone loves to see everyone else's projects. Makes them feel good. Different styles, because I certainly have my own style. But I like to get other styles up there because not everyone is into the bold colors that I like. So yeah, so thank you for joining, and I'm just trying to think if anything else is going on. I don't know. If there is, I will post something about it. But if you like this technique, I would love it. So copy it, and let's see your versions and post them on over on the VIP page, and then we can see it, and then it enters you into the giveaway. So it's kind of a win-win-win. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy. And I will see you live next Wednesday. Haven't decided what we're doing yet. So if you have suggestions, I would love them. So have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye-bye.